Thank you. Great. Welcome to our November meeting. Thank you for coming. They do have a meeting upstairs. I put a note on the door to say that our meeting is actually down here. Attending the meeting, we got 7:02 start time. 7:02. Is Kathy's not with us? Okay. Okay. Welcome, Nelson. We'll be turn to you after one item on the agenda. We want to get by it.
Sounds good.
You have to consider the minutes of the last meeting.
Yep, I've reviewed them already.
You have them, so
Yeah.
can you move to approve them?
Yep. I moved that we approve the minutes for the meeting of October 24th, 2024.
Thank you. Second. No discussion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ron, aye. And yes, and yes. Thank you. Okay. Nelson, thank you for coming.
Of course.
This is Michael Brown.
Hi,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Has
you.
been an essential cog in this in the works here and in other committees, I guess, too, for some time. I just told him that we had met yesterday.
Yep.
And that we had some conversation about various topics which probably come up that we're going to rehash here. So first of all, Nelson, I invite you to introduce yourself here, and we had a nice conversation yesterday, but Michael hasn't heard where you've been and what you do, sort of thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Ron. Hi, Mike. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Nelson Moy. I'm the new town administrator. I'm coming up on 3 months now, actually. Time's flying by, actually. Yeah, like you said, Ron, we had a really nice conversation yesterday, sort of getting the background behind the committee, sort of the work that you put in over the years. Projects are ongoing, projects that we might want to do in the future. I've been in the public sector for almost 10 years now, and almost everywhere I've been involved in the green community in some way, shape, or form. My first foray into municipalities was with the Public Works Department in Natick, and that was sort of foisted upon me to, get all the reporting done, all the data, and things of that nature, and also, submitting for, like the next round of grants. So I'm pretty familiar with the process, what it entails, the benefits of doing it. I think it's fantastic that we're taking advantage of all the grants that, the state avails to, us cities and towns. It is a pretty competitive process, but I'm proud to see Townsend has availed ourselves to those grant opportunities as they come along. Since I've been here, I've already been sort of I wouldn't say quite knee deep, but certainly I've dipped my toes into the green community stuff that we have going on. In fact, today I signed off on the annual reporting that is due to the state. So MRPC sort of did most of the heavy lifting, with some feedback from some folks here in town, and I actually signed off on it this afternoon. So I'm sort of very been involved in the green community stuff since in the short time I've been here, and I'm excited to sort of close out this round of grant funding to hopefully, start applying, when the spring, season rolls around. Ron and I touched on that a little bit, at yesterday's meeting, and I'm sure you'll talk about it. Some of those points in tonight's agenda. So, so I'm excited to introduce myself, and really excited about what you guys have been doing, and the continued work you'll do in the future as well. So, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nelson.
Thank
Have
you.
you had a chance to think any more about how we're short of members in this committee, and that's an ongoing problem through a lot of committees. I understand that,
Yeah.
but we're hoping to get some help, some organization by the town to help us achieve, filling out this committee.
Mhm.
I mean, we can show people that it's rewarding work. We're saving money and helping with the environment and stuff, but we just have no avenue to show people or talk to people about the benefits of being on the committee. There's a lot of career benefits. There's so many people who are in town who probably work installing heating equipment, maybe working in the solar industry.
Yeah.
That among them, it's a career builder to be able to put on your resume that you're participating in a volunteer thing related to their business. And
Yeah.
we don't have ways of presenting that to people.
Right.
That opportunity. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. We also talked about the grant administrator. There is a part-time grant administrator who apparently doesn't have time, or you said you might be able to look at it, how they might be able to assist us. I don't know what time they have available, but there's certainly things that we get involved in expediting work that's being done. If we had someone here most of the time who was able to do that on a regular basis, it wouldn't be such a surprise to the contractor that we're calling him, or a burden to us to get things done in time. We're not getting our work done in time. I still haven't heard from Frank from my recent inquiry about, are we going to be able to participate in the spring round or not? He hasn't been able to answer me. 5 days. It took me like 10 days. I asked him in October.
Right.
I asked him again recently.
Yeah, Erin, the part-time, grant administrator, as well as housing coordinator, she's been doing a lot of green community stuff since I've been here, and she's been on some of the emails, coordinating with MRPC with the annual reporting, which again, I signed off on the report early this afternoon. So she has a lot of experience, and she's actually very good at what she does. So I think there is an opportunity for her to help you guys out in some way, shape, or form with these grants. She can do sort of the grant writing and the reporting and things like that, but in terms of the day-to-day, weekly, coordinating with contractors and Rise Energy or whoever, that's a different role, and that's really not within her wheelhouse, or she doesn't have the bandwidth to do that either. So
you can divide it up very, 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 very well, because I understand that she couldn't get involved with contractors and stuff.
Yeah.
But you think about dividing that role, about one, identifying projects that should be presented, that we could look at, is one. That's the incoming. But once we have a contract, I mean, most of what we do involves facilities. I mean, going forward, we're going to be asking facilities, what do you need to have done? What building? And he told us he wanted us to work on Memorial Hall. I see it turning the stuff that Rob told us when he answered the questionnaire that told me he has regular progress uh, reports that he has working with the contractors.
Mhm.
So why not add to that? You know what? There's a deadline we have to meet. You know, and now he is expediting and checking with how they're doing with the concept that there's an end date. Because right now, apparently there isn't one as far as he's concerned. He's not pushing for things to get done, as far as I know. You know,
Yeah.
because they're open-ended.
Yeah.
And you get a year and a half to finish and you still get your money, you know?
Right.
But
Yeah,
there's a sense of
I think,
urgency to this that
right.
is not happening.
Yeah, I think Rise, at least, I have spoken, I think I mentioned it probably yesterday. I've spoken to a Frank probably once or twice, and he is looking to finish up this round of grants and, close it out so that we can then apply for the spring round of grant funding. So I think he is, maybe he doesn't show it, but I think there is an urgency on his part to get that finished up by the end of this calendar year, so that we can close things out and then apply for funding for the springtime. So
Okay, but he's not answering the inquiry. He could say that I'm working on it. It's going to be close. You know, he could answer me. I
right.
expect
No,
an answer.
I agree. His communication skills, can be improved upon, and I'll see if I can get him on the horn in the next couple days to get you an answer in writing, and then we can move forward from there. But I'm almost positive he is looking to close out the project by the end of the calendar year. Because
Okay, all right.
he
Well,
literally said it to me in one of our phone conversations. So I'll see if I can put the bug in his ear and to get a reply to you as soon as possible so that we can get some clarity on what the future looks like.
right. I don't think I have not spoken with Frank. My interactions with him are entirely email, which we
Okay.
can copy other
Yeah.
people.
I've had some email conversations with him, but again, I've also spoken to him on the phone. So nice guy. So I'll also make it a point to tell him he needs to communicate better and more quickly to us, because it makes it seem like there's no urgency on his part, when we're looking to get things done in a timely fashion. So I'll mention that as well.
I'm glad you're having this experience because all right, so you need to have your own experience with him, and I've nearly given up, as you know.
Mm.
But the fact
Well.
is that we haven't had any complaints about their installations of light bulbs and controls. We have heard some issues about other things, more complicated stuff that they've done that Rob thought, he's having quality issues, he's ongoing issues. But I think we have so much light bulb work to be done. I would give it to Rise, and with the note that we want this done, this lot of work for the light bulb, we want it done in the 2 grant rounds. It's up to us to bid to put together an application that's competitive, and it's up to him to get it done by June, so that we can participate in the fall again.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to
We've been
be.
through this before, and he's failed. So
Yeah. So
it isn't just now. It was last summer, and all right. So we've been through this before, Nelson. I'm just a little frustrated that you're learning about it for the first time, but it's been it falls on me, to try to get the stuff done, and then he doesn't get it done. So
right. So I'll impress upon him that we're that we haven't been quite happy with his level of customer service, and he needs to step up and improve. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm hoping he will rise to the occasion. No pun intended. And we'll see what happens. But again, I'll give him a call probably as early as tomorrow, just to I'm not gonna necessarily read him the riot act, but I maybe it coming from me, maybe it'll really impress upon him. He needs to step up his game.
If you're gonna talk to him, you can let him know, because you have no other way of knowing that, I have respect for their technical skills. They've done great.
Yeah.
It's their ability to get things done on time and correctly that we're concerned about.
Right.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to add?
Nope, that's it. Thank you so much for the invite. I do need to sign off, and I'll listen to this recording afterwards, but I think what you guys are going to talk about, we probably touched upon quite a bit yesterday as well. But I appreciate the invite, and I really enjoyed, speaking to you guys, especially talking to you, Ron, yesterday for almost an hour. I can tell you guys are very passionate about, these projects. You mentioned decarbonization quite a few times, so I'm, really glad to hear you guys really thinking about these things and, really caring about it. So thank you again, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey, Nelson, before you sign off.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring one thing up, which is related to the work we do, but also separate in some ways. I've been involved over the years with the issue of outdoor lighting in Townsend, and just wanted to suggest that it's something maybe another time you and I could talk about. In a nutshell, in recent years, our bylaws have not been enforced, and the previous building inspector, just for various reasons, actually, I don't know what the reasons were, but he didn't want to enforce them. And, I appealed his lack of enforcement to the zoning board. They agreed with me. We then went in front of the select board. They agreed with me. And then right after all that, he resigned, and I guess we have a new building commissioner who I had met. But anyway, so it's been kind of an issue, and over the last 5 years or so, many businesses in town have installed lights that are out of compliance. And I provided a list with photographs and recommendations on what could be done to correct it, and maybe out of a dozen or so, 2 or 3 got corrected. But it's still a big issue that has not been resolved. So I don't want to take up a lot of time right now, but just wanted to sort of let you know that that's something maybe I could sort of explain it,
Sure. Yeah. Well, we can talk offline about it and, see what we can do. You are right. We do have a new building inspector. Great guy. He's mainly part-time, because that's sort of all I think the town, I don't know the sort of history behind why it ended up being a part-time position. But Bob Garside, he seems like a really good guy. So, you and I can talk offline and see what we can do about, getting the outdoor lighting into compliance. So, yeah, we can do that offline.
All right, great. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. Yep. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Nelson.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Take care.
All right, I wish to share my screen. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, I got it. All right, we got it.
Okay, I actually printed out a copy of that. So that's the question.
Okay, well, we'll look at it together then.
Yeah.
The things I spot, I was hoping that he'd come to a meeting so we could, answer the follow-on questions right away.
Yeah.
I mean, the obvious thing is, as head of the, first one, as head of the facility department, he makes day-to-day reporting on progress. Okay, day-to-day reporting on progress. If you had a progress chart, you'd be able to tell, you'd be able to tell where we are, what's gonna get done in time. He's, I think that, what I'm hearing, the facilities department is the place for this stuff to be expedited. He can see what, the job, and he can see what needs to be done. He's familiar with the building. He can assign the reporting process to his janitor or whoever is responsible for maintenance at the building, and say, just let me know at the end of the week, what progress they made. They didn't come this week. They didn't come at all. They get on the phone with Frank. Well, I think that's the way it should work, although I think Nelson's gonna be is a little slower on the uptake than I'd like. For that. Right, Nelson, I would like you to know that I think that facilities manager is in the best position to expedite the green communities work. All right, we asked his opinion on regarding their technical work, air sealing and insulation and stuff, and they say that their technical work is good workmanship. But their leadership is not that great for technical issues on getting back, fixing problems due to third-party installs. I didn't know to what degree third parties are involved. Presumably Rise would have either the same or different, I don't know, I have to figure it out, than another contractor. If we had another contractor instead of Rise, do they have the same skills or would it be worse? But maybe.
I guess these projects, often they're gonna have subcontractor. He mentions here,
Yeah, they have to subcontract.
electrical.
Then the opinion regarding administration work scope, politeness, meeting deadlines, he's overdue material. He says a lot of time due to material being shipped out of stock. I think it's probably because they're not ordering it soon enough a lot of the time.
Yeah.
All right, and he had he's had problems from last year's installation of VFDs. And still waiting on response. So that's not really saying that they haven't been responsive yet. And obviously he wants to focus on Memorial Hall next. And I put that as a priority for Frank or whoever is going to quote us. I'm not sure that Rob understands this, or maybe Nelson, but whoever's doing the quote will be working from a menu of options that is available from Mass Save. It's not like we can say, this is the boiler this is the heat pump we want. They're gonna tell us which one we're gonna get. This is what it comes down to. And I think anyone, regardless of which contractor is, the price will be about the same. I want to check that with green communities, but that's what I'm looking at. Cold building, hours and hours of maintenance for what they have in Memorial Hall.
So in other words, their heating system is sufficiently unreliable that it would actually make sense to upgrade it.
So it makes sense to replace it.
Yeah.
Now, whether replacing it with gas boilers, there'll be no incentive from the Green Communities program.
Right.
If we do replace it with electric, then there'll be, out of pocket for the town, but whether that's the same or greater than the gas boilers would have been, I don't know. And then there's the whole conversation around backup. You electrify this thing, it comes cold in the morning. Well, you can fix the boiler, but you can't come up with electricity unless you got a backup generator. There is a backup generator, but it's smallish for this building. I don't know if they could draw power from the, I would assume, I don't know, it's a good question. It's all part of the conversation that's yet to happen. does the fire department have a generator? And is it big enough to do both buildings? I don't, it's that sort of thing. But we got a good response from Rob. I'm grateful for that. If we have further questions, he's available to ask.
Yeah, I see the questions you asked on streetlights. Yeah, back when we did the streetlight replacement, in retrospect, I mean, it would have been great if we could have had streetlights that could be controlled, like not have them go all night, which would have saved energy as well as helped with light pollution, that sort of thing. But I think when we made the decision that we were just gonna lease from Unitil, I could be wrong, but I don't think those kinds of things were an option. It was pretty straightforward. We'll put in LED lights of this many watts in this location, and I don't think they had that kind of sophisticated type controls, But anyway, I think no, there aren't any timers or anything like that. I mean, he says photo cells, so in other words, they go on and off. They go on when it's dark. So.
Yeah, they all come on and off. If it's dark enough, I suppose if a cloud comes over, some of them will come on.
Sometimes during a total solar eclipse, they'll go
Yeah.
on. The street lights went on where I was watching.
Okay, so
But anyway, yeah.
this is a chart that comes right out of MEI. This is printed from MEI. I didn't have to format and all that, but it's a chart for the streetlights. And I had to take out 2020 because that would screw up the chart. It shows it has an awkward, blip in 2020.
Huh.
I'll look at that again, but make a note here, 2020. That's why I pulled. I know I intentionally pulled it out when I was doing this because
This is for street lights, you said?
This is streetlights, just the streetlights, right?
Just street lights converted to BTUs. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's another thing. The MEI does everything in millions of BTUs.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And that's a reporting you get.
So what this is telling me is that in 2018, it was relatively high because it hadn't yet been changed.
What's frustrating is that the file you look at when you're running MEI, I believe that it's labeled kilowatt hours.
Mm-hmm.
But when you print it out, it prints out million BTU. It's the same, graph.
Same pattern, sure.
But
just different units.
Just different units.
So it's pretty consistent. I mean, it went down after I assume we actually put them in sometime in late 2019.
Yeah, during 2019. November to January in 2019, they went in.
Right, and then it was very consistent in the following years, and it looks like it's running about less than half, or about half of the original amount. And obviously, there's a seasonal effect where it's used the most around this winter solstice. They totally make sense. I know that the cost didn't go down by half, but that's because we're also, their rates build in maintenance, and so it's not purely proportional to energy usage.
They didn't bring the other,
but the cost did go down substantially, not by half.
I had also that chart that I had that time that I had the errors on, and I fixed them. But
you're right.
All right, so I'm just going to show it to you. We're sitting here. Share. Oh, why can't I share it? Can't even get this thing to move. Oh, there it is. Now I gotta share it. There we go. Yeah, around this way, Mike. So this row it's still screwed up. I haven't made the adjustment yet because I couldn't believe I couldn't find these numbers in the main sheet. And I couldn't find these either, but it may be that I ran that this is the calendar year, not the fiscal year. That's the only excuse that I can come up with. This is the actual numbers that we should, instead of 40 and 33 instead of 50 and 33.
Oh.
See? That one very close. This one's close. This one's way off, right?
Yeah.
And I ran this, I couldn't believe my eyes, so I run it like 3 times. I just went to MEI, copied the row, and then pasted it here. And that's what it is.
You could get messed up sometimes if there are formulas in those cells that depend on other cells. And
I don't know.
If it was just numbers, then yeah, it should have just copied. Yeah. Or you can always cut, even if there are formulas, you can just copy the values. But anyway, yeah. So what is this showing? It's showing kilowatt hours of usage, energy usage and cost by year.
Right from MEI.
And it looks like it's going down, or where the transition is, where 2019, which is
find it here in a second.
So right around 2019.
Paste. I don't like what values you want.
So it goes down to the 12-13 range. Originally it was in the 18 to 20 range, now it's in the 12-13 for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, so, several thousand, 6,000-7,000 a year savings.
Well, they forecasted a savings. This is the original, I've been asking for data and everything. We're trying to sort out what the cost is per lamp, because we know the luminaires are figured in here.
I think it's some point we got that, yeah.
Here's the dollars they gave us here.
Yeah.
But they don't match exact. That's the agreement. Yeah. This is the January one, so that's what we ended up with. Is it that number? Instead of that number. So instead of 16, it ends up being a different number anyway than on the actual contract, and they predict $7,300 savings annual.
That's actually
very close.
Is that what we got?
Yeah.
Not every year. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Some years.
This is a calculated number. I was trying to see what dollar value per kilowatt hour that would be.
Right.
However,
so it looks like it's in some years we did get about that or more, and
but it has less to do with electricity than it does. You think because even back here we were paying for the luminaires. We're renting the old bulbs.
Right.
So the difference between rentals is this and this. The cost per, kilowatt hour, everything is the same.
Right.
So we went down like $4, was it $4.06 per bulb.
Right.
But they have extended that somehow into a monthly, into a per kilowatt hour. Where's the calculation? That's over here. How do they come up with this? Well, they've taken the cost of the bulbs and they've used this as a standard. February, April, 9,000 kilowatt hours. May
Oh,
to July, 7,000, August. And I can't, even, this is relatively correct because you would expect there to be more kilowatt hours in February, April, and November, January than in, the summer months.
right, because.
Then that's the way it is.
Hours and.
But it doesn't, it can't be a charge per kilowatt hour because it's that's 9,000 kilowatt hours, right? That's not 9 kilowatt hours, that's 9,000. What we're using is what we were using there in that period was this is years, right? Not
Well,
months.
wait, 28 watt. Now, I don't know if this number is directly related to this dollar value, but they're saying the kilowatt hours used by one light bulb, that's a 28 watt light bulb. If you figure it out, I don't know, do the calculation of approximately, it might be
It is
9 kilowatt hours
It
for
is
3 months, right?
It is 9,000.
No, you sure it's 9,000? 20, well, let's do a little, quickly. 28 watts, which is,
Let's just get MRI up and then MEI. That'll.
all right, I'm just gonna make sure I understand what we're talking about here.
All right.
I'm gonna get out
Good, right.
my phone calculator. Okay, so 28 watts, let's do kilowatts. That's 0.028, right? Kilowatts is one light bulb. Let's say times on average over the seasons, let's say 12 hours a day. So times 12, that's how many kilowatts in a day. And let's say in a 3-month period, multiply that by 90. I'm getting 30. So where am I off? I'm getting 30 kilowatt hours, which is obviously wrong.
I gotta get that going here.
28 watts. So 0.028 kilowatts. And it's on, is this per month? Are these supposed to be the kilowatt hour shown? Oh, this is monthly.
Yes,
These numbers are per month during the February to April period.
yes.
Okay, let's do this again.
No, this is a total, I think this is a total of 3, 3, and 3. That's like a,
Well, the
Yeah.
kilowatt hours shown on customer's monthly bill. Oh, no, that's okay. Following.
this is coming up quick here.
Because it would make more sense if we're talking about monthly. But kilowatt hour shown is the proration of charges in rate periods or number of days in the billing cycle.
Table loaded, table. And.
Well, they don't explain what these numbers exactly mean, but if they were the number of kilowatt hours in a month, that would actually make sense because this is the number of watts. And if we multiply that by, let's say 12, for 12 hours in a day times 30 days, is 10. So yeah, I would say these are energy usage per month by each bulb. And obviously goes up as you go to the higher wattage lights. But these are kilowatt hours, yeah, not thousand, just kilowatt hours.
9 kilowatt hours.
For one bulb, yeah. Right.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. And I believe it's for a month.
okay, we go to the highway department. Like, building to serve, well, they call this a building, believe it or not.
I mean, it's possible that the savings will start to be less than what they projected because
Okay, so
prices
here-
are going up.
We were focused on streetlights
Mm-hmm.
and then I hate this. Yeah.
That's the MEI.
Yeah. To go over here, I think I'm gonna have to back out. Yeah, to go back out. All right, and I'm gonna move this so that I can get this bar. Spreadsheet, I think I missed the spreadsheet in here. All right, so in the spreadsheet, I should have printed this one. Okay, so you got the, this is copy from MEI, by the way. It says kilowatt hours. 33,000. This is on an annual basis, right? So let's just look at the monthly, and which is gonna come out of MEI. 2016, 2017. See, they February, March, April,
Mm-hmm.
9, 9, and 9.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's just rounded up. Then
Right.
May, June, July is 2, 2, and 2 would be a 6.
Well, why would it be so different? Why is it only a quarter of the amount? That doesn't make sense.
That's because this is probably fairly focused. When you look at it on a graph,
Mm-hmm.
was that 2016? We didn't go back to 2016 on here, but if you go back 2016, it's all, messed up.
Hmm.
You can see that on a graph right here.
Yeah, it looks like if you look at these, it's from the highest to the lowest, it's less than a factor of 2. Because I guess the length of nighttime when the lights are on,
Well, this is a
Varies from-
this is a fiscal year thing, so it starts in July.
Right. So it happens to start at the time of year when it's the lowest
Right.
usage of streetlights.
And it comes right back at the
Yeah.
other end.
Right.
But there's less height to this difference
Yeah, that's a
here
good
than there
point.
is there. And the difference is going to be, I believe.
Actually, no, I mean, proportionally, it's just a little less than a factor of 2, right? You're a little above 3 here and you're a little under 6. And here you're basically at 7 and it peaks at 12. So I think they're consistent, actually. They, proportionally, it goes up by
Well,
a factor.
that's 3.5,
Uh-huh.
and that's 5, and call it 6. 3.5. and
Yeah,
6.
so-
That's a difference of 2.5, right?
But the difference
And the
in
difference
terms of the
here-
ratio.
The difference here is from 7 to 12. That's
Right.
5, so that is double.
No, but I mean, what I mean is the usage from the lowest time of year, let's say June, to the highest, which would be December, is just a little less than a factor of 2. So in this case, it goes from 7 to 12,
Yeah.
right? So it goes up by, let's say, a factor of 1.8 or something, right? From
1.8,
7 to 12. Roughly, it's not quite double.
7 to 12, not quite double. right?
Yeah. I'm not thinking of differences, I'm thinking of a ratio. The ratio is a little less than 2.
Yep.
Same here, you got 6, and then in June, you have a little above 3.
Well, the
So
ratio, I see.
ratio is less than 2, a little bit less than 2,
On both.
which makes sense because if you look up, well, how many hours of day and night, it's the same thing. It's a little less than a factor of 2 difference from summer to winter.
I think. Right, the kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
The factor that's the same every month, regardless of how much electricity you use, is, it's again, you're right. I don't know how that is calculated. How many of these $7.16 is there in every month? 9? And 8 can't be 18, can't be 52 of these. Absolutely not. It just doesn't add up.
Well, I think
So
they charge a flat rate for every bulb. per
All
month.
right, so in any given month, if I use, 3,000 kilowatt hours,
Right.
how does that relate to my bill?
I don't think it has any effect. I think they charge I don't know if is that the entire cost to us of that light?
Good question. That's what we don't know. We have the number of bulbs that they installed.
Yeah.
That's not on this sheet, but that is
But
on
I think
this
I
one.
think the answer to that is that it is. I think that is the total charge.
You know how they got their number?
Yeah.
It's got both the luminaire charge
Uh-huh.
and the, delivery and electricity in it. That's how.
Oh, okay. So this appears to be a lot of it, but then there's some extra stuff.
Yes, and what we don't have, what did they use for a number to come up with that? You go backwards, that number is 90 times 1145 times this times that. That is 15,000. And they did the same thing down here. That's why it comes down. It has.
Okay, well, these are monthly charges, so it'd be all right, 90 times that times 12. Right there, you've got somewhere around 12,000 or whatever. Then there's a little extra because of these delivery charges, 4 cents per kilowatt hour. I don't know how they calculate that.
Well, I tried to go backwards and I can confirm that the 15,662
Made sense.
is these all multiplied by each other, bang, done. And now they're claiming the difference in, cost is gonna be the difference between this old bulbs and this new bulb.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. I'm not.
An awful lot of our savings have to do with the change in bulbs, not the change in electricity.
Right, but their
Yeah,
luminaire
well,
charges lower, substantially lower,
Yeah.
from $11.45 to $7.
I assume this lasts
And that's not
longer.
exactly directly proportional to the reduced energy usage, but it's strongly related to it. We're reducing energy usage by roughly half.
I think this is a lower rate because there's less maintenance. I don't know what the original cost of the bulb is.
Well, I think the main reason is that they use less electricity and maybe less maintenance also.
We still don't know, how would we apply these numbers to come up with any given bill, 3,000 kilowatt hours? I mean, what's the calculation you do to come up with a bill? I don't have that. And I'd like to be able to go backwards, take out the luminaires, the difference in luminaires, and that'd be just the electricity saved, because there's less electricity saved here than we think.
Yeah, the answer to your question may be in there. I don't know if I can figure it out sitting here right now, but.
You're welcome to take that home with you.
Yeah,
And
I think-
that's what I am going to.
I think there's a
That's what
certain logic to this. I'm just without wasting too much time, I'm just gonna try it out. We have 90 of these 28 watt bulbs. The luminaire charge is $7.39 per month, so I just messed it up. Okay. 90 times 7.39 times 12, so that's the annual. So far I'm up to $7,981 just from the luminaire charge. That's a lot less than 15,000. Then we have the delivery charge per kilowatt hour, but I don't know how many kilowatt hours unless that's somewhere else. What do I assume? So yeah, it's going to take a little delivery charge per kilowatt hour and basic service rate, which is that's based on the average rate in effect 2018. Is that also per kilowatt hour? It kind of looks like an amount that would be, it's 11 cents. Looks like 15 cents per kilowatt hour. And the question is that, where was that other chart that showed how many kilowatt hours they were assuming each type of bulb would? Is that in here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd have to look, so I think it would come from these numbers. So these bulbs, again, I think these are per month, but
I think you're right.
So
What,
9/16.
what is that? Doesn't have to give you.
It doesn't actually
It
say.
doesn't give you a
It says
date.
kilowatt hours, February to April kilowatt hours. Well, you look at that and you think, oh, that must be the kilowatt hours for 3 months, but
If they're doing a quote there, so they're trying to figure out, you know, based on something that's the usage.
okay, so.
And I think that the basis
Nine,
was
25,
something
37,
like this, that says,
37
May to
times
July.
3, I'm thinking 111
fiscal
kilowatt.
year.
So it's 111 kilowatt hours per year, that bulb, times, kilowatts per year. Uh, Times 90 of them. So this is the total, and then times roughly approximately 0.15. I'm not gonna do exactly. So that, I don't know, that gives us another 1,500. That still doesn't add up to this. So I haven't,
That may be a difference in, I don't know.
yeah, this is just this part, and then this part was approximately 8,000 when I calculated it. So I'm up to about almost 10,000, but not 15,000. So maybe I'll try to figure it out.
Well, I'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like a, you know, you can divide back by all that, but you gotta, when you multiply this by this, by this, by this, you get that, right?
Oh, wait a minute, but we should be looking at this. This is what this is the new.
That's the new one, yeah.
Yeah, I was using the numbers for the new bulbs. So, actually, no, now I think I did figure it. Yes, I think it does add up to it is about right. 9,500 is what so if this is about 1,500, right? If you remember 1,500, and, just this loop, that's everything but the luminaire charge, and the luminaire charge is, 90 times $7.39, and that's per month. So let's multiply by 12. Okay, approximately 8,000
Plus the 1,500.
There you go. That's it. So what that tells me is, yes, these are per
So
month.
let's write that out. Let's write that out. So it's
Okay.
gonna be, I have to write it right on this page. It's gonna be the count. It's this
Mm-hmm.
times this
Mm-hmm.
times 12.
Yep. That's
So whatever this times this is, that is the monthly charge for the luminaire. It might be this times this plus this times this.
Yeah.
That is what we're paying for the luminaires per
Yeah.
month. And then there's electricity separate.
Right. And I don't think they're metering it. So it's just based on their assumptions, and these are their assumptions.
Yeah. And they sort of make sense, but I've run into periods looking for periods. This is like 2018, right? So they were using 2017, I'm assuming, as the basis. And we come down to 2017. This is the fiscal year, February to April. Three, that's the 9. May to, that's 26, 36, 46. 52. Yeah, I think it's on. So was it August?
Well, this is the numbers you're looking at are total kilowatt hours for all streetlights put together. So it's going to be
Nope. This is only this account. Right. This is all this is the detail for all this account. It's all there
right.
for the streetlight. That's like account number.
Yeah.
So it's all the streetlights, right? All of them, rather
Yeah.
than just that one bulb, right?
Yeah.
But it does make sense.
Yep.
November to January, suppose they used, 2017. 2017, no. That moves faster than you thought. November 31. 64.
So for example, let's say in a typical month, it's 3,000,
Mhm.
right? So that would make sense if you think about, so there were 90 of these. So 90 times 9 is, there's 810.
Yeah.
All right, I don't remember how many there were. Those big ones, there's only a few, but,
Mhm.
so mainly the rest of it is 16 of these,
That one went down.
16 of these 100-watt ones of these. So 16 times $11. 16 times 11 is, about 170 or so.
Moon charge times 12.
I don't know if this makes sense, but you do it on a spreadsheet. I'm trying to do it in my head.
See, this comes right out, it says thousands, right? And this is labeled kilowatt hours. So they're,
Yeah, it's
That is-
kilowatt hours. Yeah.
but they're only presenting 9 instead of the.
Well, no, because it is 9 because they're talking about one light bulb.
It's 9,000, so they
No, no,
dropped,
no.
they dropped, it is 9,000. 9,000 is what they.
No, but these numbers all of these numbers are in kilowatt hours, not thousands kilowatt hours.
All these are in kilowatt hours.
Kilowatt hour. Now, the reason it's in the thousands is because you're adding, this is in the whole month. So you're taking this many kilowatt hours, multiplying it by the number of bulbs. In the case that this is 90. So right there, you've got 800 or so kilowatt hours, and you've got, this is 32 times however many of these there were. I don't know how many of the 16, 32 times 16.
These are thousands, not.
No. Well, that is kilowatt hours because these numbers are one bulb for 1 month. That's how many kilowatt hours one light bulb will use in a month.
Oh, okay, so that is per month per bulb.
Yeah.
Rather than, yeah.
Yeah. These numbers are per month, all the bulbs. So I think it makes sense, but we'd have to add it all up, because it depends on the number of bulbs, and some of the bulbs have higher wattages, Yeah.
So for this time period, that is the number they'll apply. For this time period, that's the number they'll apply.
Yeah. That makes sense. I don't know why they have to make it so complicated, but.
You should see the rate chart. If it's a street with a dead end, it's just chart. If it's a street without it, it's like, I think from someone's job over there full time is to figure out what chart does this go on,
Right.
what rate chart.
Yeah.
That'll make more sense to me now. You want to, you have this somewhere because you had it a long time ago.
I'm sure I have it, yeah.
This came from,
January 2018.
John sent it to me. And we went around trying to figure out what was going on with
Yeah.
the bulbs for a while, but then that was the
I
solution.
would say there's 3 out of 4 chance I can find that on my computer, which I don't have right now, but.
All right. Did you have any printouts from the master plan project?
I didn't print it out. No, I just worked on it today, and so I now have a Word document. I can't actually email it to you because it's 50, I don't know why, but when I converted the PDF of the master plan to Word, it's 50 megabyte file. I don't know why. So anyway, I can, I'll put it on OneDrive or something and send you a link maybe if you want to
Okay.
see it. I mean, I can do that, tomorrow or whatever.
Right. There's no hurry for that, because I don't know if you saw my.
Oh, yeah, so, Jessica is not working with us anymore.
Yeah, I don't think much is gonna happen with that project. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, I guess, it'd be great if they hire a replacement for her, and I guess we could meet with the planning board and talk about what proposed changes we want to make.
Yeah, we'll continue with our project, so it's ready when they're ready.
Yeah,
Now, you already have the sheet for the, remaining, work. This is the sort by number. This is the whole list that I have remaining, including stuff that we're probably not gonna do. Because it's like 3% gross profit, return on investment. It's just sorted also on return. And this is this is what is available to work that we'd actually consider. And, it seems to be Frank's thing to quote as little as possible, but I'm asking him to quote some stuff down here on the lower end of the list. Because if you end up getting a bunch of the high ROI stuff, sometimes you can fit in one of these it's an awkward dollars you're trying to fill in. You can fill in one of those without doing too much harm to our total.
right.
So that's the reason why I asked him to quote some of those, but these are the ones that I've asked him to quote as our priority. That's a future. We're not gonna do anything with the Spalding School right away. This was a big priority because, we're gonna get started talking about it. It's not gonna
Right.
be $61,000 either.
Right.
All right. Yes. I still have not heard from Frank regarding the work that must get done to do the next round. But if he does, I'm sending him that. That Excel sheet is, we want to get quoted on this stuff for the next round.
Yeah. Where, just to remind me, where did this list essentially come from? Like,
We originally had a quotation
right.
that had, I think 70, 80, 90 items on it.
So these are what, all of the things we haven't done, but kind of prioritized,
Yes,
essentially. Well, yeah.
that's correct.
In
And,
this case, by payback.
right. That's really the way that Frank will quote it. And those are the ones we need to come up with a $200,000, grant amount.
Is
Anyway,
that still the amount, the kind of magic number that you could get a grant? You can get up to 200,000.
that includes the $5,000 for, MCRP.
Right.
All right, we're still waiting from Frank. If I do, we'll send him the inquiry. We had also from the last meeting, we had discussed the non-conforming exterior lights at Spalding, and you got the answers for that. Rise says they didn't do anything with that.
It wasn't related to green community projects. So.
Was that?
You're right. So it wasn't related to any of the green community projects.
No, and if there was something done there, it wouldn't have been town, it would have been the schools.
Right.
So next would be to contact the facilities manager.
Right, who I talked to, I actually corresponded with, if it's the same person, I don't even remember the name.
I will provide you with the name. Would you like to contact him regarding?
Sure. Sure.
All right.
I previously contacted him and the business manager, Nancy, I think, right?
Nancy Hines.
Nancy Hunt. Yeah, I had a question related to the sign that was supposedly only going to be on till 9 p.m. and it was on all night, and that was maybe sometime last year. And I asked about it, and I was told that it was like a malfunction, which was corrected. But that's the only contact I've had with that group before.
Okay. I wanted to contact him as well, but separately. My inquiry would be to ask him what his priorities are relative to the school lights, you know, the stuff that's remaining at the schools.
Mhm.
I think I'd like to try to develop this kind of a dialogue with them, because eventually we'll have to, you know, consider doing boilers and, you know,
Mhm.
electrification and all that stuff for school. Big deal.
Mhm.
So I'll handle that separately. Do we have any topics, any additional topics? Not expected, none, forum, none. We have this room, we have a room, I don't know which one right now, reserved for the 11th.
Mhm. Okay.
You know, I might want to reschedule till after the holiday, because we don't have that much pressing right now.
Mhm.
If we were able to get into the next round, we may want to, you know, meet then to preview what we're going to do or whatever, you know, but,
Yeah.
if we can't get into the next round, there's kind of not much we can do.
Mhm.
All right, so we'll say yes to that.
Yep, that's okay with me. Wait,
And
tentatively.
Adjournment now, you ready to adjourn?
Yeah.
You move, we adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
And Ron seconds, and you say yes.
Aye.
And Ron says yes separately. And we'll be adjourned now at 8:10.